Hi, friends. It's Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources and Heroes Home Advantage. Today, I'm in the Hero Mobile, and I'm so honored to be able to interview my friend Michael Hood. And Michael's got an amazing story, and he's full of inspiration as well. And so I wanted to video interview him. Like I said, it's the first Zoom meeting that I'm doing. And what I want to tell you about Michael is he has served our country for over 20 years, I think closer to 30 years. He's got quite a story to tell. And when Michael heard about the packages that I'm sending out to veterans around the country, I name them Protectors Hope Care Packages. And I have all kinds of stuff for PTSD and some kind of comfort things and a couple of fun things. Michael offered to share his story. And so he printed a bunch of copies of his story. So I have them right with me. And Michael's story is going in every single Protectors Hope Care package. Also, Michael volunteered. I am not a crisis intervention veteran. I'm a veteran advocate, but I don't have the skills. And I think it's better for a veteran to talk to another veteran. And Michael has volunteered to be one of my peer support specialists. So that means so much to me. So thank you, Michael. And so basically what we're going to be doing is the same thing I do when I have the hero sitting right next to me in the Hero Mobile. And Michael has an incredible story. And so, Michael, I'm going to give you the floor, and I would just like you to, your story is full of hope and inspiration. And so I'd like you to share what you would like to share. And then at the end, we're going to just give a message of hope and inspiration. So first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself and say the branch and how many years you've served.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, my name is Michael Hood. I'm a retired Army Staff Sergeant. I spent 29 years in the Army, 9 years in the National Guard, 20 on active duty. I deployed to Desert Storm 3 times to Iraq and Afghanistan, and I retired in 2012 as a Staff Sergeant. I spent my active duty career as a cook. So that will lend to the story of the different backgrounds that I was exposed to being a cook, because you can be assigned to any type unit versus just being an infantry or medic or something like that. So like Michelle said, I do peer support. It is my passion to help veterans because of my mental health journey, which I'll be sharing with you in a minute. I just wanted to say what Michelle and her organization is doing is wonderful, because I get questions all the time about where can I find this, or where can I go to do this, or where can I get information on this, or whatever. And Michelle and her organization has done a wonderful job of putting together the packet that she talked about. And it has so much information. It is just jam-packed with information, not only on how to get things done as a veteran, but also on recovering from PTSD and having a spiritual part in there, and different other modalities are out there. Not this day with Kirk Poe is one of the ones that she is has in there too with a flyer, and he is a friend of mine. He does holistic healing. So us having a different base to be able to come from is so much important, because it's not all about the one type of therapy working for everybody. There are so many different modalities out there these days that we can find the right one that fits that veteran and will work really well with that veteran and get them the help that they need. So I'll go into my story of mental health recovery. It is a story of my mental health illness and how I am able today to tell the story without tearing up. I want you to know that mental health can have a positive effect on a person's life. Recovery in mental health is an ongoing cycle. I am going through a tough, hard time in my life, and I am recovering from it. I move forward to the next challenge or the setback. While I can't say that I am fully recovered from my mental health illness, I can say that I fully recovered from that hard time or challenge in my life. I will share what worked for me. I want you to know that mental health is just like anything else in a person's life. What worked for me might not work for you. I am better. My journey will be different from a lot of people's. Uh, from a lot of people. There is no mental health in my family. It was not until I was 38 that I had my first mental health episode. It was April 2004. I just returned from a year-long deployment uh, in Iraq. I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. I was driving down the middle. I was driving down Highway 190 going home, and I found myself driving down the middle of the highway. I thought I was back in Iraq. Driving down the middle of the road was something we did in Iraq to keep the traffic away from convoys. This prevented us from hitting IEDs in our convoy and causing damage. It was a weekend when this happened, so I went to see mental health sick call on Monday. They said that my serotonin level was off and that I was suffering from depression. There was nothing that I did that caused me to get depression. It should have been the same as a chemical imbalance, but it wasn't. There was an immediate reaction from my chain of command as to why senior NCO would go to mental health. And NCO is to lead by example. They want to know how I could lead by example. And I sat there and told them and had discussions about my ability to lead my soldiers. I told them everything would be fine. While I did my duty every day, I had in the back of my mind the other eye looking at me, which means people saw me differently from that time forward. I kept doing everything exactly like I had before my mental health illness. On October 24, 2004, there was a Black Hawk crash at Fort Hood, near Fort Hood. It killed seven soldiers. 3 of those were my friends. At the time, I was the NCRT of the battalion funeral detail. That meant we were doing funerals for all Army deaths in a big part of the state of Texas. I told the lieutenant that I wanted my team to do any of the funerals that would be held in Texas. My team ended up doing 2 of them, Mark Evans Jr. and David Gardner. I was also the escort for David's father. I was very close to every part of the event, from the recovery to the burial. It was extremely hard for me each time I presided over another funeral. As for me, the triggers were the sounds of Black Hawk, the smells of burning wreckage, the smell of JV4. I would be around Black Hawks for a long time in Fort Hood. With a traumatic event like that, the looks from the chain of command became more intense. I did not miss a beat with my dedication to duty, the burden that I bear that no one understands other than my brothers and sisters in uniform. I made my second deployment in November 2005. In February 2006, I threatened my NCO in Iraq. I was sent to Germany for inpatient treatment, then Fort Hood for outpatient. As it turned out, the NCO was sent home for medical reasons in May. My first sergeant told me I was going back to Iraq. I told to get me going and cleared me for deployment. I finished my tour successfully. I deployed to Iraq a 3rd time. Each time I deployed home, I had to be cleared medically. This included mental health. I never used mental health to get out of my job, doing my job. I have never used it. I own my mental health. It is part of me as much as anything else. I wanted to say that the treatment program of therapy and medications worked for me. This was always an adjustment. There was always an adjustment to medication, and it's important to communicate with your doctor about what works and what doesn't work.
In my third deployment, I was the NCIC of the Division Dining Facility for the 4th Infantry Division out of Fort Hood. We fed 2,500 people each meal uh, every day. I was also in charge of doubling the facility. As the NCIC, I was responsible for keeping the commanding general of the 4th Infantry Division update on day-to-day operations. People knew about my mental illness, but I was the one that picked to run the dining facility. This shows how much they learned to trust my judgment in high pressure situations. I spent the last 8 years of my career with mental health illness. I was never relieved of a position. I was given respect by my peers and my seniors in my chain of command. As you know, respect is earned, not given. I retired in 2012. I worked in kitchens until last October. I am now doing peer support. Everything I have experienced because of my mental health illness is part of who I am today. I will always tell people that I believe in mental health treatment over other methods. With all of that, I have never had a drinking problem or a drug problem. It is a victory. To be able to say that today. The change from the Army to civilian life was huge for me. For 20 years, I was a soldier. I believe that there is no bigger transition that a person can make from living a well structured life to feeling like you are flying by the seat of your pants every day. The Army does not have a type of program to help soldiers with the change. During my first 2 years out, I did not seek mental health. I felt like with me staying with the same type job as working as a chef in the kitchen, I can handle it. I was yelling every day, cussing at people that were slow and doing the work of two people. I realized I needed help. I went to a therapist who turned out to be a really wonderful fit for me. Kim first told me that I had a serious anger problem. This was not only causing me to be depressed more, but it was also keep this was not only causing me to be depressed more, but it was also difficult to keep a job in the kitchen. It took a lot of work, and after a year, I was able to bring my anger management under control. That opened the door to other issues. My high expectations were a problem because they were driving my emotions. This was not a good combination. Kim helped me bring my expectations of others, the kitchen, and myself down to a level where I was content with. I would like to talk about the therapy part of my treatment. I've had many therapists over the years. There are two that fit for like a glove. I mentioned Kim earlier, and the one other one that has been great is Ashley. She helped me to a place today. I am uh, a survivor. Kim took me uh, rough around the edges person and uncovered issues. She made me a person who dealt with my problems and worked them on every day. Actually took me and polished Michael and helped refine my coping skills that I learned from Kim. The one area we were able to overcome was my impulse control. It was something I didn't realize I had until a few years ago. This was getting into trouble with the police, and I'm glad that I got help for it. It is important to have a person who you are comfortable with and that the therapist is comfortable with you. If you go see a therapist and it's not a good fit, ask for a recommendation. They may say know somebody who will be a better fit for you. Also, don't go into the treatment thinking 5 or 10 sessions will work. Take as long as it takes to get what you want out of therapy. Don't rush it, let it flow. Mental health is not something to be rushed. I learned that when I was going through my therapy with Kim. Where am I today? I am writing my story of recovery and healing every day. Last year, when COVID hit, I wanted to do something to reach veterans. All of the places that we would go to for meetings and for camaraderie had been closed down because of COVID. So I started a Facebook page. It is the Help the Veterans Standing in Front of You. Through this page, I talked about the issues we face as veterans when we leave the military. The transition is the most difficult thing I've ever done. As of now, I have over 37,000 followers. So it is an amazing way to connect to veterans and be able to talk to each other about things going on in our lives. I also volunteer for Valor Ranch, which is an MST ranch in Decatur, Texas. Veterans Produce, which is feeding the homeless through occupied gardening, and Pathfinders, which is a peer mentor veteran support group. Help veterans build those two organizations through my time and effort. My mental health is something I work on every day. It is a challenge some days. It is hard to get out of bed. However, I get out of bed because I have a purpose. My purpose is to serve veterans any way I can. Having a purpose is the biggest thing veterans want to find. I challenge you to find your purpose through serving others. As I said at the start of this is a testimony of my mental health and how I am a better person today. I am healing and I am a survivor, and I can tell the story without tearing up.
Michael, thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's not easy. I wanted to ask you, the therapists that have been helping you so much, are they both through the VA?
No, they're not. They are through private TRICARE.
Oh, through TRICARE, okay. And you're also part of a support group. What's the name of the support group?
It's Pathfinders.
Pathfinders.
Yeah. And, it's important to be able to be part of a group who understands what you're going through, as a veteran. A lot of veterans don't like getting into groups because they feel like they have to reveal themselves. But I think I can say, after having done it for a couple of years, that you will find it a comfort in being able to share your stories and your experiences with people who have that common ground. It's just like I tell people all the time, if I walk into a group of veterans, 50% of the conversations is already taken place. We don't need to establish that trust. We don't need to tell anybody who we are. We know who we are.
So serving other veterans has been instrumental to you. I've been to Valor Ranch. Tell
Yes.
Carrie Ann and the crew there. I actually drove my RV out there by myself. They're doing wonderful work out there. The groups that you're part of. So you're saying you have 37,000 followers on your Facebook page? And
Yes, I do.
Veterans Standing in Front of You.
Yeah.
That's the Facebook page. You got to give me some tips, Michael, because I don't even have that many followers, and I've been doing this for years.
Michelle, it's just about being honest and being authentic and being transparent. When I started the page a couple years ago, I had people calling me out thinking I was a fraud because I was doing something for free. I was not wanting anything from veterans. I didn't want them to invest anything. I didn't want them to give me their life savings. I just wanted to help people. And that is a rare quality today for people to do that, and even now that I've been doing it for a while, people kind of vet me and say, hey, what are you doing? And I said, this is what I do. And I don't have any, I didn't put any kind of restriction on who can get on my page or anything, because I want to be able to help veteran friends. I want to be able to help veteran family members. I want to be able to help anybody that's connected to a veteran, and they reach out to me because they're trying to help their friend, but they don't know how to do it because they're not a veteran. And so they're reaching out to somebody who is a veteran that can give them advice on how to help their veteran friend.
That's so awesome. So I love that I have your story and the Protector's Hope box. I also want to tell you that I can relate when it comes to being real and just wanting to help others and serve others. I get backlash sometimes because we get donations because we're a nonprofit and we don't get a paycheck. everything we do, traveling the country, the Protectors Hope thing, everything that we do is all volunteer. So you just keep being real, Michael, and you're an inspiration to me. I want you to know that. And you are going to be getting a lot more followers because I'm going to be sharing it more and more. And they'll be sharing it and they'll be sharing it. So is there anything that you want to say to the audience as a final word about never giving up? Because we're about suicide prevention.
You know, because I know that there's a lot of times where I'm taking a step back and I'm thinking, is it really worth these people anymore? Is it really worth my time and my effort when there's so much negativity out there when it comes to veterans and mental health, you know? Because, you know, I have met veterans who don't really identify themselves as a veteran because of the fact that they don't want the negativity that some people come along with, you know. But I would tell them that the need to be a veteran is greater than the need not to, you know, because you have that one little common nugget that very few people share. And it is the one nugget that will get you talking to somebody else about who is a veteran, you know. And that's just the neat thing about it is, you know, like I said, I don't know people, you know, when they contact me on Facebook, but as soon as they identify themselves as a veteran, you know, we start talking about our background, and that gives me a portal into their trust. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're telling me this, and okay, all right, I trust you, or I believe you, or I think that you're going to help me, you know, one and two. And there's some people who goes, I don't think you can help me. It's like, okay. And what people have to understand is not everybody can be helped at the moment that you're wanting help. You have to wait for that veteran to be ready to get help. You know, don't try to rush it. Don't try to push things in. Just let everything keep going. And one day, whether it be 6 months or a year, they'll contact you again and say, hey, I'm ready for help. They have to know, and only they will know when that moment is. But when they hit rock bottom, they know that, okay, I need help, you know.
So, you know, I have a support group on Facebook, Mothers of Veteran Suicide. And today, the 71st mother in my group is burying her young, gorgeous son who has 2 baby girls. And the reason I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing is because I don't want another mother to join my group. And so I'm going to share with all of you that listen to what Michael's saying, whether it's 6 months down the road or a year, when you get to the point where you know you need help, you need to get help. I have talked to thousands of veterans, and they just tell me that there's been times where they wanted to give up, but to meet a mother and a father and the children that lost their beloved one because they couldn't handle it any longer, there's got to be more that we can all do together, right, Michael? It takes a tribe, it takes a village. Yes. And so that's why you and I are meeting today. And your story and your willingness to help others, I'm hoping will inspire others to help others and to reach out more. Buddy checks are great, but we need to get this message out. It's just way too many that are taking their lives, and we love them all. I pray for veterans and first responders and the families every day. Okay, so is there anything else? Again, I'd like you to share the name of your Facebook page so everybody hears it clearly.
Okay. My Facebook page is Help the Veteran Standing in Front of You. Okay. And I just wanted to say one more thing. In Shauna Springer's book, The Warrior, It has a statement in there that says, when we connect, we survive. And it's talking about the tribe. And that is how we will survive, is when we connect. And so if we connect to each other as a tribe, then we can be there just like we were in the military for each other. And we will have that same tribe mentality that we had in military, that we have in our life after the military. So connecting to other people is the key.
That's right. And actually, I just typed up a list of books, and Shauna's is number one on my list. It's already typed up. So that's also going in there. Jennifer Tracy, Michael Shagru. There's about 10 of them that have been referred to me. And so that's also going in the package. And Shauna's loving that I'm putting that in these packages. So, well, Michael, I can't thank you enough. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to stop recording, but friends, I'm praying for you all. I want you to know that you can reach out to National Veteran Resources. I will connect you with Michael and Derek and Kirk, and we have Steve and Brett Cotter. And these are all resources that I have for you. And please, please just don't give up. Just know that there are people that really do care. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Michael, I thank you. And don't go away, okay? I'm going to stop recording. Okay, where is it? Stop. Okay, I really need to be able, is it